and we're going to go ahead and jump on into Jamiah. Here we are. Finally, this is an interview that's long overdue, and I'm excited to sit down with you. We got a lot to talk about, and we're going to go all the way from 22, the EP, to where you are now and as you prepare for the next EP. But first, let's start. Where did this all begin?
Honestly, this all began in a tiny, tiny, tiny town. It's called Appling, Georgia.
Okay.
It's about like 20 miles away from Augusta, Georgia, which is where the great James Brown is from, and that's where the Masters is held. So yeah, I'm from a super tiny town in Appling, Georgia. I've just been singing since I was 2, really. I would walk around the house and just scream because I was only 2, but I was trying to sing, and my family's like, please shut up. And then by the time I'm 5, I led a song at church, and then they're like, oh wait, oh my gosh, like you can actually sing. And ever since then, my family has just really like allowed me to like grow and like cultivate all the gifts that God has given me. So it really started being 2, and then it started in church for sure. So yeah, that's how it all started.
So aside from church singing, did you do any musical theater? Did
Yeah.
you do lessons? I mean,
So at 3, my mom kept me in everything. She made sure I was really, really active. So at 3, I was doing gymnastics, and then I did dance classes like ballet. And then when I was 5, that's when I led the song in church. And then the older I got, just people from church, like my cousins who sang, would just kind of mentor me after church, take me in a back room and just teach me songs and just kind of like help me grow. I mean, I'm only like 6, 7 at this point. By the time I'm 9, I start my voice lessons. I started voice lessons. I took them forever until college. I mean, after college, I've just always taken voice lessons. And when I was 9, I entered this like acting, modeling, talent competition, and it really opened a lot of doors for me and opened my eyes and just my knowledge of all the entertainment world that there is. Like, it's so much more than music, but there's acting, and there's musical theater, and there's film, and there's television, and there's commercials, and there's modeling. There's just so many different avenues you can go on or go down. So yeah, my mom, my family just saw like the gift and the light inside of me from the get-go, and they like made sure I was active in everything, with piano lessons, guitar lessons, just like wanting me to grow and be able to like take in as much as I can or could. So when I was 9, I booked my first musical theater show called The Wiz with Kenny Leon, who's like an amazing Tony Award-winning director. And I booked my first show with him when I was 9. And I was like, okay, like, wow. I played a munchkin in The Wiz, and it was in Atlanta. So I ended up just going back and forth from my town to Atlanta every single day. It was like a 2-hour drive. So yeah, it was the first show I did, and from that show, it opened up so many other doors. So then by the time I was 11, I was the lead role in the show called Tusical the Musical at the Alliance Theater, which is like an amazing theater as well, that Kenny actually used to be the artistic director of. So I was blessed to do that, and we toured a little bit, so that was fun. And I just did a lot of musical theater between the ages of 9 and like 13 or maybe 15. So that was kind of how it all started, with like me jumping into other avenues and, you know, going on movie auditions and sitcom auditions and commercial auditions, all that kind of stuff. I was just always active. I knew that I wanted to do, like, I knew I wanted to be an entertainer. I knew I wanted to like use every single gift, every single like part inside of me. Like, I wanted to use it in some way, shape, form, fashion. Yeah.
and you're the only person in your family that has this creative, I guess, skill or this creative tendency. No one else in your family does music. No one else in the family acts or anything.
Yeah, well, my grandpa, rumor has it that he was in a band when he was younger. I don't know if I believe it, but apparently he was, and he like played guitar, bass, or something like that. But I never saw it, so that's why I'm like, rumor has it. And my grandma, my nana, she definitely helped raise me, and she would just always sing around the house, and I would pick up on it. But whenever someone asks her to really sing, she sings and it sounds so bad. So I'm like, I don't know if she's like scared, you know, but I feel like she can kind of sing. But yeah, I'm the only like actual musical person in my family. And then, like, my cousin, she dances and she is really successful in that. But yeah, I didn't have like somebody in my home that was like, you know, teaching me any type of thing. It was literally a gift from God.
That's what's up. So I'm a little curious now. You've done so many things: theater, dance, acting, the whole 9 yards. At what point did you say, music is it? I want to put together an album and
Yeah.
make this happen as a recording artist. At what point
Well,
did you hit that point?
I always knew that I loved music. I always knew I loved to sing, and I always knew that it was like my first love. I always knew that. But whenever you realize you can do so much, I think you get lost in like, oh, well, let me do this, let me do this. So it was definitely a confusing time because I knew that I was like talented in multiple areas, but I just didn't know where to focus all my energy on. So when I was like really young, I think I was like 8 or 9 or something, I made like this dance competition team where it's like you compete against other dance companies, and I made the team, but then I booked like my shows. So it was like that was the first time where I was choosing between like, okay, dance or music. So that was the first like kind of battle I had to pick between. And then the older I got, like when I was getting like kind of out of high school and stuff like that, I really had to decide like, okay, am I going to focus on music? Because like it's really hard because you just want to do them all at the same time. And it's like, okay, well, I'll just write here, or and then I'll go on this audition. But it's like when you really want to do something and be really good at it, you just have to like put your energy in that one thing. So when I was like coming out of school, high school, I really had to decide like, okay, what am I going to do? So then I was like, okay, I'm going to go to school for music. Like I know I'm good at music. It's going to be a blast. Like it's going to be so easy, whatever. And from there, honestly, I discovered more gifts. So I was like, oh, well, now I'm writing songs. Like, what is this? Like, it just really, it never stops. You always like are discovering things that you can do and like growing in so many ways that you never thought you could. So honestly, like, I feel like sometimes I'm still picking, like, even in the music, it's like, okay, well, do I want to sing the music or do I want to write the music? So it's like I'm always still battling like what part I want to do. But yeah, I would say my first choice of like music or something else was when I was like 8 or 9.
Now, when you said you studied music in school, but now from what it sounds like, you were far more advanced than your peers. So you had already come into the school setting with so many real life work experiences, having been an actress, having been a performer, and all this, that, and the other. How was school for you? Was that something that you felt like you were benefiting from and you were learning more? Did you feel like maybe I'm farther along than what I thought when I got here?
Kind of, yeah. I didn't really want to go to school, if I'm being honest, because I thought that my life was going to be different than it turned out to be. I had just already done so much in my young child life that I didn't even think about me needing to go to school, because I was like, oh, well, I'm going to definitely be successful by the time I'm in college. Like, I'm not going to need to go to school. But that was not the plan God had. And I ended up I was in and out of school. I was homeschooled in some parts, and then some parts I went to school just because I was literally doing silly stuff, AKA like music stuff. So yeah, I just was like, I'm not going to have to go to college. And then God was like, just kidding, girl, you're definitely going to go to college and you're going to go to Belmont in Nashville. So when I got there, like you said, I was relatively like further along. I had just already done things that like you go to school intending to do in the future. I had already done those things. So I was really just going to get the degree, like just going, not even to make my mom or my family happy, because they have always been really supportive, but I just was like, okay, well, this is the next step. Like, I already graduated high school. I don't have any gigs lined up, you know, like, I guess I literally have to go to college at this point. So I went, and like you said, I just knew much. I knew what I wanted to do within like the next 10 years opposed to like the next 4. Like, I already know and knew what I wanted to do. So it really made it hard to sit in classes and learn stuff that I had learned years ago, or hear them talk about things that I'll be able to do in 4 years that I've already done 6 years ago. So it was like really hard for me to like adjust to that. And I was like, oh, like it's so frustrating, because I'm like, I've already done this. Like, I've already experienced everything that you're telling me I'm going to experience. So I just definitely felt like I was at a standstill and I just wasn't growing. And I love to surround myself with people who are like further ahead than I am, because I love to grow and learn. Like, I've always been the youngest, always, just because I just like, I love observing and like taking in stuff. And I just felt like I wasn't doing that at all. I was just really, really stagnant. I wasn't happy there. But I definitely cherish all the friendships that I made. I'm still friends with those people today. All the connections I made. I mean, everything happens for a reason. I know for a fact that I went to Belmont for a reason. I met so many people. I know that I'm in Nashville for a reason. Like, I would not be Jamiah, like this Jamiah, like the artist Jamiah, if I did not go through that whole process. So yeah, it definitely was an interesting experience, but everybody has their own path and their own, journey that they go through, and I know that I had to go through that to be where I am. So yeah.
So let's fast forward to 22. You moved
Yeah.
from Georgia, you come to Belmont, you had all of these experiences,
Yeah.
and then 22 comes along. Where did you pull your inspiration from? What's the story behind this EP? Because it's done well.
Thank you. I couldn't even tell you. Like, it was definitely a God thing. I didn't even know my real ability to write until I got to Belmont, which is another reason why I'm like, I know I went there for a reason. I mean, before I went to college, I definitely wrote little songs, but I didn't think I was good, and two, I didn't know the like wide span of like songwriting. Like, I didn't grasp that it was like an actual career, an actual gift, an actual skill. Like, I didn't know any of that. I was just writing songs that I thought were horrible. So before I went to school, I wrote like 2 songs, and they were actually like kind of good. Now that I look back, I'm like,
Right.
okay, it's not bad.
Give yourself props.
Yes. So I wrote, 2 songs, whatever. And honestly, being at Belmont, I thought I was gonna have so much more freedom to like make music, and I had none of that. Like, you were absorbed. As a music major, I was a music major, so I was absorbed in every single 0 credit class I had to take, every single ensemble thing that you have to go through or go to because you have to get this credit. Like, I had no time to be creative, and that like killed me. Like, I'm like such a like creative, emotional person, and I did not get that freedom. So like by the second year of my experience, I was literally depressed. Like, I walked to class crying. I was so not happy. I was miserable. Like, honestly, it was almost like I mentally blocked that out. Like, my friends will be like, hey, remember this? And I'm like, no, I don't remember anything about sophomore year at all. But yeah, I just remember one day I went out into they have these really cute gazebos there, and I went out and took my guitar and I wrote a song, and I was like, okay, well, I wrote a song. Like, I think it's kind of good. I don't know. So from there, I'm like, okay, I'm honestly super depressed. I cannot stay at the school. Like, I need to get out. Like, I need to just write and make music and record it and perform. Like, I need to be doing that. So I left, and I ended up meeting like some of the most amazing people that I would not have met had I not gone to Belmont. These people didn't even go to Belmont. I just met them through, like, God just puts people like exactly where they need to be, and you where you need to be at the right time. Like, he's so meticulous, and just, he's so great. He's so cool. But yeah, I just met all these people, and they like pulled out of me, like forced me to like pull out my songwriting, because I knew that I could do it, but I didn't think I was good, and I didn't know how, and there's so many aspects of writing that I'm still learning today. And so they like literally forced it out of me. These days are Brandon Holt, who is an amazing drummer. His name is Bammy Davis Jr. This is his stage name. He like pulled it out of me. Like, he pretty much like moved in with me at this tiny, horrible, crappy apartment that I had under this restaurant. He moved in with me, and every day he would make me write. Like, make me write. I would be like, I don't know what's next. He's like, nope, you got to do it. You got to figure it out. Or he would just like really help me and give me like tools, and I just learned from his style of writing. And then we were writing to beats that were produced by a producer named A.B. Eastwood, who produced every track on 22. So that kind of like cultivated my first sound. I feel like I have a whole bunch of sounds that I haven't even tapped into, but like 22 is my first project. So they both really helped cultivate and like, pull together the sound that I made for 22. So I definitely credit it to God, of course, and them for like helping me, forcing me to like dive deep into my skill, and just such a different, deeper level, and be confident in my skills, because sometimes it's really easy to like be really shy and like nervous and scared when you're doing something new for the first time. But they like definitely gave me that confidence and boldness to be like, no, you can do it, you know what you're doing. So by this time, Brandon has moved in pretty much to my house. AB is pretty much moved into my house. It's a 1-bedroom, like tiny apartment, but we just loved hanging out. We loved making music together, and we ended up having like all these songs that were like, oh, we like wrote all these songs together, like bam. So one day I had this like spiritual awakening of the number 22, and I don't know, it was honestly a crazy experience, but I had this awakening about the number 22. I had just like lost my job. I got laid off because they closed the day before. They told us they were closing, and I was like, what the heck? So I'm sitting on my couch. I get this whole revelation about the spiritual number of 22, and I look it up, and I'm like, oh God, like I'm just like crying so hard, because it was saying that like your dreams are about to become your reality, and like every confirmation that I needed to move forward, like it literally said. And so I was just like, I have all these songs. I'm about to just put them together. This is gonna be the project. And I named it 22 because I was about to turn 22 like the month later, and it was just all these things. I was like, God, okay, I get it. I get the sign. So like I just put it together. Like I didn't sit down and say, I'm gonna make an album or EP. It's gonna be 22. No, it just was super organic. It was like God like forced me, like, girl, you know you got these songs, and you know you need to put them out. So that's literally how 22 came about. It was like, all right, well, guess I'll release some music.
And you know what? That album has been very well received. You can look at the numbers on Spotify, you can look at the clicks on YouTube. The numbers don't lie. I mean, you created a great body of work, and you've given us singles. You're Up to You, Your Tell Me, Money. These are hits. These are songs that resonate with so many people. Where do you go from here?
Honestly, I just want to continue to grow in every way I can and make so much more music, so much more different kinds of music. Just co-write with different people and work with a whole bunch of different producers and stuff like that. So yeah, the next step is, of course, like right now I'm like upgrading my live shows, and I know and can feel that I've taken them to a standard that I have pushed myself to. Like I didn't even think I could do these. I knew that I wanted to do them, but like seeing it manifest and come into fruition, like really has given me so much confidence. So I'm like, okay, standard is up. I've raised my standard. I'm just trying to be better in every way. So right now I'm just working on like upgrading my live performances and writing new material for the new project that I'm dropping in 2020. So make sure you're looking out for that. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I'm just being a creative. We're always all over the place doing 1,000 things at one time.
Now, if we want to hear more from you or listen to some other songs that are not on 22, drop your socials. Where can people find you?
Yes, at Jamiah, JAMIAH _Hudson. Yeah, you can find me there. That's on Twitter. It's on Instagram. Hit me up. I will reply. Come to a show. That's how you can hear a lot of music that's a live show. I always try to like, perform them, give you a little sneaky peek. So yeah, definitely come to those. Keep up with me.
Absolutely. Well, before we wrap this up, is there anything that you want people to know about Jamiah that we have not discussed today?
Just know that I think you already know this. I clearly love God. I'm clearly obsessed with Him. Just trying to be better. My whole goal and my whole purpose of like my gifts and talents is to use it as a ministry. Like I'm never like, please don't follow me. Like if you don't get or see God in me, then you need to tell me so I can go fix it, because this is not about me at all. I'm just literally a vessel. I'm just trying to serve and like let my light shine and help people in every way. I mean, music is like the universal language of the world, and I'm so thankful that He chose me to like share it with people. I mean, so many people wish they could sing, and I'm like, you chose me to be able to sing? Like that means you trusted me. So I'm just really, really thankful and grateful for that. So yeah, if there's anything I would say, it's read your Bible. Read your Bible. Pray to God. He's real. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, I could really start preaching, but I won't do that. But, just keep God first. Keep God first.
I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me, and I wish you all the best, and I'm looking forward to any future projects that come your way.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.